Didn't notice the bullet hole at the time because I was looking at my tires.
Well, the person who pulled the trigger is still out there. Tonight, we hear for the first time from the man driving on I-71 when his SUV was hit.
A former Trinity teacher charged with inappropriately touching a student.
You're not guilty under instruction number 2.
Can now try to get his life back on track.
And caught on camera, a store clerk fights back when 2 armed men trying to take him for everything he has.
Working for you. This is Wave 3 News at 11.
Heard a real loud boom. It wasn't a bang or anything, it was just a boom.
A Kentuckiana driver gets a nasty surprise while driving along I-71. That boom turned out to be from a bullet striking his SUV. Good evening, I'm Janelle McDonald.
And I'm Scott Reynolds. The search is on now for a suspect or suspects after that shooting along I-71 in Oldham County. Wave 3's Matt McCutcheon working for you tonight. And this isn't the only shooting of the day, is it, Matt?
Scott, in all, 2 cars were shot at along, both struck by bullets in Oldham on I-71. And new tonight.
And I thought I'd blown a tire, so I immediately pulled over into the emergency lane.
Charles Pfizer then got out and took a look around his 2008 Nissan Pathfinder, but couldn't see anything wrong.
Didn't notice the bullet hole at the time because I was looking at my tires.
While everything seemed normal, he drove home, but decided to take another look once he got in his driveway. That's when he made the shocking discovery and called 911.
Someone shot at my car. I didn't notice it till I got home because when I pulled off the side of the road, I thought I had a blowout.
Pfizer said after the reality set in, he became even more alarmed, thinking back to when he was out looking around his car the first time.
I was thinking later, what did that guy take a second shot?
As he waits to have his insurance company check it out, he's covered the hole with a piece of tape, but there's also damage inside. The bullet kept going after it struck the door right here. Inside, you can see where the bullet actually punctured through right here of this part of the car and then kept going, landing inside the carpet where detectives removed it.
I don't mind telling you, it shook me up a little bit to think that somebody was out there shooting at me.
Pfizer was headed northbound on I-71 at the 14-mile marker. After hearing he was the second person to be shot at Wednesday afternoon, Pfizer and his wife aren't taking any more chances and have changed their travel plans.
My wife and I aren't getting on 71. We're staying off 71 right now until we get a little more information.
Now, despite being pretty frazzled by all this, Finzer is taking it in stride, saying he'll deal with that hole next week. This week is all about fishing. Meanwhile, Oldham County Police say they have no leads in this case. If you have any information, you're asked to give them the call. The number there on your screen, 222-1300. Working for you live along I-71 tonight at 11. Matt McCutcheon, Wave 3 News.
All right, thank you, Matt. His goal was to clear his name, and this afternoon, former Trinity teacher Donald Switzer did just that. Switzer was accused of inappropriately touching a student, but it took the jury just an hour to find him not guilty. Wave 3's Connie Leonard was in that courtroom, and I know, Connie, that Switzer says he was thankful, but he also said he was sad.
Yeah, Switzer says he learned something disappointing about the criminal justice system today, that you're guilty until proven innocent now. It should be the other way around.
Verdict under instruction number 1, harassment with physical contact. We, the jury, find the defendant, Donald Kirby Switzer, not guilty under instruction number 1. Under verdict under instruction number 2, sexual abuse in the 3rd degree. We, the jury, find the defendant, Donald Kirby Switzer, not guilty under instruction number 2. Also signed by foreperson Michael Schroeder, and that is all of your all's verdicts. Is that correct? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I thank you. I know this has been tough. It's been 4 days. It's a very controversial case, and it has been, obviously.
It's the decision retired Trinity teacher Donald Switzer says he prayed for, but says as relieved as he is after being found not guilty of inappropriately touching a 15-year-old former student. It's bittersweet.
It's been very difficult. I've, of course, had to leave Trinity after 39 years. It's a place that I love dearly. We're a family there, and I miss my family. I mean, it's a family.
Hours earlier, Switzer took the stand in his own defense. The teen and prosecutors maintained the Spanish teacher grabbed the student's chest twice in a sexual way.
A grown man's not supposed to touch a teenage boy like that.
But Switzer told jurors it wasn't sexual, saying he was trying to get the teen to get going to his next class.
I was just trying to hurry up and...
Switzer's attorney Robert Florio told the jury the boy took it the wrong way.
We all make people uncomfortable, whether we mean to or not, rightly or wrongly.
After the not guilty verdict, Florio's second closing argument was directly aimed at prosecutors.
I just wish there was some kind of agency we can go to that would put as much energy into clearing his name as it did besmirching it. Because this man has lost his job, he's lost his life, he's lost his family, and for what?
Now, Florio claimed in his closing argument that the reason the charges even got to this level was because the student in question is the son of an assistant county attorney. That family didn't want to talk after the verdict. As for Switzer, he says he doesn't know if he'd ever try to teach again. He's got a full-time job taking care of his 97-year-old mother. Reporting live from downtown Louisville, Connie Leonard, Wave 3 News.
All right, thanks, Connie. New at 11, an incredible story is emerging about what happened in the moments after a hot air balloon hit some power lines in Clark County last night, shocking the pilot. According to a police report, the balloon pilot, local business owner Dallas Beal, was knocked unconscious by that shock. It says that another pilot who was following the balloon on the ground had to shout instructions to newly engaged groom-to-be Martin Newsom on how to land. Newsom's fiancée, Sherry Games, got burns on her arm as well when Beal was thrown into her by the shock. The couple told sheriff's deputies that the sun blocked any view of the power lines as Beal tried to take off from a field with tall grass. We talked to a woman who arrived on the scene shortly after.
And I saw the balloon coming, and it was real low, and it went over there by those power lines, and it hit them, and there was a big explosion, and just landed on the ground, and I ran over there real quick to see if anybody needed any help.
Beal was taken to University Hospital by helicopter. The police report says he had regained consciousness and was responding before leaving that field. Tonight we hear from some of the people on board that tour bus that flipped minutes into a trip to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, you saw the story first as breaking news last night at 11. A charter bus had just left Cub Run Elementary in Hart County. A sharp curve that could have been deadly. Those on board will never forget the bus leaving the road and the tires losing contact.
Whenever we was flipping, it was like slow motion going over.
Hoping to see the White House, many ended up instead going to the hospital.
We could brace and see as we flipped to the side and the glass started shattering and people were kind of flipping over us.
I knew immediately we weren't going to make the curve. So I started calling 911, and then we didn't make the curve, and the next thing I knew, we were on our side.
One teacher says she'll always remember how the parents and the kids kept their composure.
They were given instructions to fall out the windows of the bus as quickly as they could, and they did so. They were amazingly calm.
And parents remained calm the day after the crash, despite hearing the driver ignored warnings from those on board.
I'm not angry towards the man, but I believe it could have been, he should have listened to the parents that told him. I heard from other parents that he was told 3 times to slow down.
We're so fortunate. The students and the adults are so fortunate. The good Lord decided to stop the bus right there.
A few broken bones, but everyone has been released from the hospital. The parents and the kids will get refunds for this non-school related trip, and they have their hopes up because it appears they will get to take their tour of the nation's capital in the coming weeks without charge from that charter company. Well, tonight, a 4-year-old girl is fighting for her life after she was hit by a truck this afternoon. Indianapolis police say a box truck driver saw the little girl in the street, but when he tried to stop, he just couldn't avoid her. We're told that girl was rushed to Riley Hospital for Children in critical condition. Investigators believe the child was standing on the corner with her mother when suddenly she ran out into the street. Right now, charges haven't been filed while the accident remains under investigation. And new here tonight, a Louisville woman has been arrested for stealing from a Kroger. But her charges don't stop there. According to a police report, Kiara Kennedy was stealing DVDs from the Kroger on the Butchell Bypass yesterday. Police say she would hide them underneath her 6-month-old baby and in her purse. When an employee tried to stop her, police say she pushed and headbutted that employee. We're told this all happened in front of her other young children. Well, by this time on Saturday, we'll know if Triple Crown history has been reached.
I'll Have Another could be the first horse since affirmed in 1978 to win the Triple Crown.
Sports director Kent Taylor spent the day at Belmont Park to check on the favored horse.
Another routine morning at Belmont Park for would-be Triple Crown winner I'll Have Another. A hearty gallop around the 1.5 mile monster.
I thought he showed good energy and he cooled out really well, so we're very happy with where we are here 2 days out.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, he made a 5.2 million.
Team O'Neill has a U of L connection. Assistant trainer Jack Sisterson played 2 sports for the Cards.
He came to play soccer and ended up actually the backup kicker on the football team.
Sisterson has been with I'll Have Another every step of the way during this Triple Crown run.
I've lucked into having him around the barn, and he's just a great asset. He's very organized. He's very professional.
Is it a Triple Crown team? Sisterson likes their chances.
He's doing absolutely fantastic. The beauty about this horse, he's still improving. He still hasn't hit his peak performance yet. Doug's done a fantastic job of maintaining that energy level, and physically and mentally he's doing fantastic.
Jack was telling us about the mansion that owner Paul Redham has put Team O'Neill up in this week in New York. He says even in the garage there's a Lamborghini, and he got to drive it the other night. I won't tell you how fast he told me he was going, but he did say, quote, it was just like I'll Have Another, only a car. At Belmont Park in New York, I'm Kent Taylor, Wave 3 Sports.
Something else. All right, thanks, Kent. All new at 11, we've learned that Zappos.com will be handing its Kentucky operations over to the parent company, Amazon.com. A company spokesman says the decision is a result of the company's focus on redeveloping its Las Vegas location. Since Zappos is expected to outgrow its 2 warehouses in Shepherdsville soon, the company's decided rather than buy another warehouse, it's going to fold its distribution facilities into Amazon's existing network. Zappos will retain control of its outlet store in Kentucky. We're working for you to help a program that helps local teens find a job for the summer. Tomorrow, Dawn G is hosting a job-a-thon with Project One. They help find and fund jobs for area youth. So tomorrow, call in and make your pledge. We're going to broadcast live from 2:30 to 3 o'clock right here on Wave 3, and then we'll keep the phone lines open, and we hope they'll be ringing until 8 o'clock.
Well, he could be the next man to run the Greater Clark County School District, but after tonight, did what he say land him that job?
And a store clerk fights back in a big way when 2 armed men try to steal money, and it was all caught on camera.
Are you headed to one of the area theme parks or maybe just to the area pool tomorrow? If you are, you need to know the forecast. I'll let you know if you need that sunscreen. And we'll look at the weekend, too, coming up.
Working for you. This is Wave 3 News at 11 with Scott Reynolds and Janelle McDonald, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Harney, and Kent Taylor Sports.
The search for the Greater Clark County School Superintendent has been narrowed now from 3 candidates down to just 1.
Tonight, the public was able to hear from him for the very first time. Wave 3's Katie Bauer is live in the newsroom with more on this. And Katie, what did he have to say?
Dr. Andrew Mellon told a packed house tonight that his first priority, if selected, is to focus on getting to know the students, staff, parents, and community in an effort to push Greater Clark County Schools to its full potential. Dr. Andrew Mellon introduced himself to the Greater Clark community on Thursday, stressing that transparency is a must.
If something that we choose to do is not working, we need to be strong enough to stand up and tell people that it is my responsibility that it didn't work. So any decision that I've ever made in my career, I've always taken responsibility for it. And I will continue to do that here.
Mellon told the forum a prime example of this is addressing a recent audit that came out of his prior district, Valparaiso Community Schools, where he has served as superintendent since July of 2010. The audit showed that the athletic department purchased a more than $300,000 Jumbotron without board approval.
As soon as that happened, I gathered my administrative team together and I said to them, there will never be another situation again in which any purchase is made, whether it's taxable funds or other school-related funds like the athletic fund, where purchases are made of that magnitude, anything over $50,000, without my approval in consultation with our chief financial officer.
The Greater Clark County School Board chose not to renew Dr. Stephen Dashner and his $225,000 salary earlier this year. At about $50,000 less, Mellon says he is ready to put students and student achievement first.
Because I want to be able to make a difference in the lives of the 10,000 plus students that we have here.
The proposed contract states Mellon's base salary would be $170,000. He would also be given $20,000 for moving expenses and a $5,000 a year car allowance. A public vote on Mellon's hiring will take place on Monday. Working for you live in the newsroom, Katie Bauer, Wave 3 News.
All right, thanks, Katie. Well, this is something we shed light on in a special report last month, post-traumatic stress in returning military members. And tonight we learned the number of suicides among active duty military is way up. The Pentagon reports there have been 154 suicides in the first 159 days of this year. It's the most rapid pace for military suicides in the past decade, and it doubles the number of forces killed in action. The circumstances surrounding those suicides have not been released. Well, you're going to want to see this story. A Florida fisherman pulling up his nets found way more than a fish.
Hard to believe this. Check it out. According to NWFDailyNews.com, Matt Willingham found a prosthetic leg. When he looked closer, it's got a UK logo on it. Right now, it's not clear how long the limb had been in the water. Willingham speculates someone lost the limb at Crab Island this past weekend. He's hoping that as word spreads, the owner will come forward. Well, two would-be robbers were hoping to get away with some money. Instead, they got a whole lot more than they bargained for, and it was all caught on camera. When men with masks showed up at Zen Yang's convenience store Tuesday night demanding cash, he refused to hand it over. Not going to do it. Instead, he fought back with bear spray. This was a humiliating experience for one of the would-be thieves who lost his pants right before Yang's wife started kicking him. Not everyone agrees with going in on the attack.
He could have been stabbed. I would have given him the money.
How would I say? Police say they don't often see residents fight back, but Zen Yang says he doesn't want this to happen to him ever again, and that was up in Quebec, Canada. There you have it.
That's a very
where they have
brave
bear
man.
spray behind the counter.
I mean, who doesn't have bear spray, right?
Yeah, of course. You need that. Because next it'll be a bear in the store, and then it'll work again.
Exactly. You know, a lot of people are spending a lot of time outdoors here, maybe not with the bears or anything. But
yeah, this has been a perfect week. I mean, we had the rain early in the week, but then these cool temperatures, something we're not used to in June around here, and slowly warming up. We were close to normal today, and we'll be back above normal tomorrow and for the weekend, it looks like. So a warming up. Nothing on the radar. We haven't a cloud in the sky. You'll notice a mainly clear sky through the night tonight. I know a lot of folks, we're just about to get off work. Some folks just heading to work, UPS, Ford. We know you're out there, and temperatures will be on the cool side, dropping through the 60s into the upper 50s by early tomorrow morning. We've had a cool week this week, and that includes the morning lows. If you're headed to one of the area theme parks during the day tomorrow, Holiday World, Beach Bend Park, Kings Island, temperatures ranging in the low to mid 80s across the area with lots of sunshine expected in those areas as well. As we look outside tonight, we are under a mainly clear sky downtown. Our temperature running at 70 degrees. Winds are calm, and with those calm winds, we could see some patchy fog form, especially in that low-lying valley areas that surround us in places. So just keep that in mind if you're driving into work tonight or early tomorrow. 82 our high today, very close to where we should be this time of year. We've had no rain across the area for the day today. We don't expect any rain until a slight chance on Sunday, but a better chance early next week. You'll see that in the 7-day. You can see around the region today we had highs in the low 80s to upper 70s. It was a pleasant day all in all, and had a great evening. Saw a lot of folks out this evening around downtown, up on Bardstown Road. A lot of folks here, not only in Louisville out and about, but I'm sure in many of the communities that surround us too. 70 degrees now in Louisville. We're one of the warmer places around this evening. Those clouds, as promised, cleared out of the area. Should continue to remain clear through a good chunk of the night. It's back out to the west where we've had all the weather action. Several tornadoes touched down across portions of Wyoming, and now with a few severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings just north of Denver, that action stays way to the west of us. For us, overnight tonight with that clear sky, plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Temperatures will be warming up. Look for that high of about 84 for your Friday. How about Saturday? Again, more of the same. Lots of sunshine for us, and temperatures top out in the upper 80s. We'll be knocking on 90s door by Sunday. Our forecast tonight with a clear sky and some patchy fog. We'll drop it into the upper 50s here in the city, but cooler in the suburbs. 84 during the day tomorrow. Air quality alert for our Friday. So for folks that may have asthma or are sensitive to the air quality, just note that it will be on the high side for tomorrow. And as we look ahead, we're at 88 Saturday, 90 Sunday. That's a 10% storm chance Sunday afternoon. We'll bump that storm chance up Monday and especially Tuesday of next week.
The air quality alert's probably not good for any of us because we're all sniffling and coughing, and
it's
not
a mess around here.
Yeah, it's the commercial breaks.
You don't want to hear it.
You're right. Well, coming up, sports director Kent Taylor. Oh, he's in New York. I don't know what the air quality's like up there, but he'll tell us about the Belmont favorite, I'll Have Another, and how that horse is adjusting to the track at Belmont.
Part of what makes the Triple Crown so hard to win is that the horses have constantly having to adjust to new surroundings. Sports director Kent Taylor tells us how I'll Have Another is faring at Belmont Park.
The big story at Belmont Park on Thursday, a barn. All 12 Belmont horses are in the same one, and access is limited. What do you think of this barn situation?
Well, I think it's ridiculous. I don't think there's any reason to do it. I think that it wasn't very well thought out. It shows a big disconnect between our regulators and the backside of the racetracks.
Well, it's just a lot of confusion right now. I mean, I don't think it was planned out very, very good.
Kentucky Derby and Preakness champ I'll Have Another put in another one of his impressive gallops. He seems to be adjusting to that move just fine.
It's a horse race, right? And if everyone's subject to the same rules, that's okay. For horses, though, they are creatures of routine and habit.
The state is trying to show everyone how clean the game is and that it's not polluted with a bunch of crooks and cheaters like some people have written about.
Four-time Belmont winning trainer Wayne Lukas looks more like a prize fighter these days after he was kicked in the head by a horse on Tuesday.
We were grazing out there, and this horse just feeling good. He just squealed and jumped straight in the air and pawed me with his front foot right, as you can see, at the top of the temple there. So it dropped me pretty good.
Mr. Lukas told me that headache would completely go away if Optimizer can pull off the upset here on Saturday. But most of the people here are going to want to see I'll Have Another win the first Triple Crown since 1978. At Belmont Park in New York, I'm Kent Taylor, Wave 3 Sports.
Thank you, KT. She's the best women's basketball player to ever lace them up at U of L, and now she's part of the Kentucky Athletic Hall of Fame. Angel McCautry joined Rick Roby, Lee Corso, Bobby Watson, Homer Rice, Hugh Durham, Seth Hancock, and Churchill Downs as 2012 inductees into the Hall of Fame. All of the honorees felt overwhelmed to be a part of the state's Hall of Fame.
Being the only woman here, I'm going to represent all the ladies and say thank you to all the women who paved the way. We started out in Title IX and worked our way on up to now, so I'm very grateful.
Now I look back on those 38 years of all the great experiences I've had, you know, from winning ball games to championships to meeting great people, and, you know, this is kind of like the icing on the cake.
Well, it's a tremendous honor to you. It was over 40 years ago since I've been head coach at Louisville, and it's tremendous honor to come back.
Always good to see Lee Corso.
Yeah, coach.
Yeah, and Angel getting in at a young age. She can enjoy it.
Yeah, and she's on the Olympic team this year too. So
Not too shabby for her.
Not a bad year.
All right, thanks, Kendrick. And we'll be right back.
Well, that prosthetic leg story we ran earlier, found off of Destin there by the fishermen, it had the UK logo on it. In fact, it's from a former UK football player, Fred Robinson, a native of Radcliffe, lives now in Crestview, Florida, and he has reclaimed it. He lost the limb in a work-related accident in 2007 at $30,000. He was afraid he'd never see it again. He's got it back.
Yeah, what a great end to that story, and thanks to Lisa for sending that in to us.
Yeah, appreciate it, Lisa. Have a good night, everybody.